Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello to all. So today we are going to learn to go to a new chapter, which is the last chapter for Form 1, entitled Earth. So you can refer to your textbook, page 254. So in this topic, the first subtopic that we are going to cover is the subtopic 9.1, entitled The System and Structure of the Earth. So before we go through to this subtopic, so let's uh, let's go to the things that you are going to learn in this subtopic. The first thing is you are going to communicate about the system of the Earth and then explain the differences of the Earth layers based on its composition and physical characteristic. And the last one is to realize that Earth is the only place that can sustain life based on its physical characteristic. So you can refer this to your textbook, page 256. So as you can see here, Earth system consists of four main components which are interconnected. So as you can see from the figure here, we got geosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. The geosphere should be the rock and soil zone on the Earth surface. Hydrosphere refer to the water zone that includes rivers, lakes, seas, and also water trapped as ice, underground water, and water vapor in the atmosphere. And the third one is the biosphere, where the biosphere is the life zone, consists of variety of life such as humans, animals, plants, and microorganism. And the last one would be atmosphere, where the atmosphere is the air zone covering the Earth's surface. All these four main components which are interconnected will form the Earth, the planet that we are living now. Jadi actually kita ada 4 components lah, iaitu geosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere and atmosphere. Dan semua ini akan membentuk bumi kita. Mana inilah planet yang kita tinggal sekarang. So we go one by one. What is hydrosphere? Hydrosphere is a water zone such as river, lake, and sea. It is also include underground water and water vapor in the atmosphere. As you can see here, this is an example of waterfalls, and this is the sea. So this shows you the oceans in our Earth. So this shows you the Atlantic Ocean, and this is Pacific Ocean. So when we refer to the hydrosphere, when we refer to the water zone, not only the river, lake, and sea, it also include the underground water, and maybe the water not in the liquid form, maybe in solid form such as ice, or maybe in the gas form such as water vapor. As long as it will form a water in whatever forms, it will also include in hydrosphere. So the second one is the atmosphere, where it's the air zone covering the Earth surface. Di mana atmosfera ni dia adalah kawasan zon udara. So as you can see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of atmosphere, which are troposphere, and followed by the stratosphere, where the stratosphere got ozone layer there, and the mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And the third one should be the biosphere, where the biosphere is a life zone consists of variety of life such as human, animals, plants, and microorganisms. So all the living things in our Earth should be in the life zone, should be included in biosphere. So this shows you the living things such as animals, the green plants, all these things are biosphere. It should be include us as a humans in this Earth. And last one would be the geosphere, where this is a zone for rock and soil on Earth's surface. So this is the rock mountains, and then this is a desert. Everything related to the rock and soil zone, it will include in geosphere. So now we go to the next the next point, which is the atmospheric stratification, or in bahasa kita panggil sebagai stratifikasi atmosfera. So as I told you before, we got 5 layers of atmosphere. The lowest one should be the troposphere, followed by stratosphere, and then mesosphere, thermosphere, and the last one, the outer one, would be the uh, exosphere. So now we go to the lowest one, which is troposphere, which is the layer where living organisms breathe and wind blows. And it is the layer where the cloud, rains, and snow form. So in this layer, this is the layer where we live. So all the living organisms breathe here, and all the wind blows here, even the clouds, rains, the snow, everything that we can see here, that we can see everything about the everything that live on our earth are in this layer, in the troposphere. So actually in the troposphere layer, it would be around 0 till 13 kilometers from our earth. So from here until here would be 13 kilometers. And then the second layer would be the stratosphere, where in this layer, the aircraft fly stable in this layer. So when you see the aircraft somewhere in the sky, it means that that aircraft is actually in stratosphere layer, not in troposphere layer. It should when you see the aircraft in the sky, it would be 13 kilometer, more than 13 kilometers from our ground, from our earth. So ozone layer, also located here, where the ozone layer absorbs harmful ultraviolet UV light, which can be found here. So actually, this ozone layer deplete when CFC break it down. CFC stands for the chlorofluorocarbon. So actually, the CFC can be found in fridge, or maybe you can be found in air conditioner. So actually, this CFC can break down the ozone layer. So once the ozone layer is destroyed, it's very harmful to us, because the function of the ozone layer to absorb harmful ultraviolet. So when there is no more ozone layer, so there is no more ozone that can absorb the harmful UV light. So we can get the UV light directly from the sun. And then we got the third layer, mesosphere, where the mesosphere layer, the burning and destruction of meteorites occur here. So actually in the mesosphere, the layer is from 50 until 80 kilometers from our Earth. And then the fourth layer would be thermosphere, where the thermosphere, also known as ionosphere, where the aurora occurs here. What is aurora? Aurora is a stream of colorful lights resulting from the reaction of charged particles with Earth magnetic field and atmospheric gases occurs here. So the thermosphere layer would be around 80 until 480 kilometers. Jadi actually dekat mesosphere ini, kat sini kita akan nampak aurora ni. Aurora ni ialah satu cahaya yang berwarna-warni yang terhasil daripada tindak balas particles yang bercharge dengan magnetic field atau medan magnet bumi kita. So it means that the reaction between the charged particles with Earth magnetic field and atmosphere gases also occurs. Earth magnetic field and atmospheric gases occurs there. And then the last one would be the exosphere layer, which is 480 kilometers and above from our Earth. So in this layer contains light gas such as helium and hydrogen gas. So actually in this layer, the communication satellite orbiting Earth in this layer. So actually the satellite, the communication satellite ni is very important for communication. If you want to get a live football match, maybe the football match in England. So you are in Malaysia. So if you want to watch it live, so the communication satellite, this one is very, very important because this satellite can be the reason why we can watch that football match for live. Uh, because of this satellite, so you can receive the information as soon as possible. Uh, Okay, now we go to the relationship between the air pressure and altitude. So altitude ni bermaksud ketinggian lah. So as you can see here, when this balloon in when this balloon at the ground, uh, you can see the shape of the balloon like this one. But when the balloon is in the sky, maybe around 1 kilometer away from the land. So as you can see, uh, the balloon blows like this one. So this is happen because uh, at the lower ground, the pressure is quite higher compared to this point, where the pressure in this point is quite lower compared to the pressure at this point. So as you can see here, the increasing of the altitude, the pressure will become lower. Same goes to the temperature. At this point, the temperature is 10 degrees C, and at this point, the temperature is 0 degrees C. So means that the higher the altitude, the temperature will also decrease. So as the thing that I can conclude here, when the altitude is increased, the pressure will decrease, and same goes to the temperature. The temperature will also decrease. So another application that related to this relationship, you can see this empty bottle. The empty bottle change shape when taken down the mountain. Why this happened? This is happened because when the bottle is at the top of the mountain, the pressure the pressure at the pressure at the top of the mountain is quite lower compared to the pressure somewhere down of the mountain. So because the pressure somewhere down at the mountain is higher compared to the pressure at the top of the mountain, so the higher pressure outside of the bottle will push this bottle and change the shape of the bottle. So as you can see here, the pressure inside of the bottle is equal to the pressure somewhere at the top of the mountain. But the pressure outside of the bottle is the pressure somewhere down in from the mountain. So because of that, the pressure outside of the bottle is higher compared to the pressure inside of the bottle. That's why this pressure will push the bottle and change the shape of the bottle like this one. Same goes to the chip bag puffed up in the flight. Why this happened? This is because the pressure inside of the chip bag is higher compared to the pressure outside of the chip bag. That's why the chip bag will puff up in the flight like this one, because the pressure inside of the chip bag is higher compared to the pressure outside of the chip bag. So actually, all both of the situation can be related to the relationship between the air pressure and the altitude. Okay, so now we go to the ocean stratification, atau dalam bahasa Melayu kita panggil sebagai stratifikasi lautan. So we got three zones for the ocean, the first zone is the surface zone, iaitu zon permukaan, and then the second zone would be the midnight zone, iaitu zon tengah malam, and the deepest zone is the dark zone, iaitu zon gelap. Okay, what is the surface zone? Surface zone is the zone where the water is very shallow, where the light can penetrate and suitable as a habitat for plants. When we refer to the water is very shallow, it means that the depth of the water will be around 0 until 200 meters from sea level. It doesn't mean that when we refer to the shallow, you can play there, you can stand on the ocean. No, not something like that. When we refer the water is very shallow, it means that the depth of the sea is around 0 until 200 meters. Dia punya kedalaman 0 hingga 200 meter. So means that the light still can penetrate, and it's very, very suitable for the plants, for the habitat of the plants, because when the light still can penetrate, so all the plants still can go the photosynthesis process to produce food. Okay, and then the midnight zone is the zone where little or no light. Dia tak banyak cahaya, ataupun maybe there is no light at all. So difficult for plants to live. Why? Because there is no light, or maybe the little light, so the plants cannot go through the photosynthesis process. So that's why it's quite difficult for plants to live. So in the midnight zone is the habitat for large marine animals such as giant squid, and whale. So for your information, the depth for the midnight zone would be around 200 meters until 1500 meters, 200 meter hingga 1500 meter. So that is the depth for the midnight zone. And the last zone should be the dark zone. This zone is a very deep, which is around 1500 meters until more than 10,000 meters depth. So in this zone, there is no light can reach it, and most animals have shimmering. Means that the shimmering ni menghasilkan cahaya lah, yang boleh yang bercahaya, and then the bodies glows in the dark. So, because this zone is very, very dark, so most of the animals here have shimmering, and their bodies can glow in the dark, like this one, like this one, like this one, and like this one. So not all the animals can live here. Only the suitable animals can live in this dark zone. Okay, now we proceed to the distribution of water on Earth. So when we always talk about the distribution of water on Earth, ataupun taburan air dekat bumi kita ni, we always refer to the water cycle process. The water cycle process ataupun proses kita air ni, ataupun water cycle process, is a continuous. Means that this water cycle process will always happen and keep happening and keep continuous happen. So the total amount of water is always constant. Because of the this water cycle process, this can cause the total amount of water will always constant. So there is no such thing that we lack of water, our excess of water. There is no such thing, because this kind of water cycle process makes the total amount of water in our earth always constant. This is the example of water cycle, contoh kita air. So as you can see here, this is a rain. The rain is the raining happens. So the water is collect here in the ocean or in the sea, and then the evaporation processes happen. So after the evaporation, so the condensation process will take place, and once the condensation processes will take place, and then the precipitation occur, and the rain is occurred back, and then it will collect. The collection, water collection will happen again, and then evaporation, and then proceed with condensation, and then precipitation, collection, and so on. And this process will continuous will continue non-stop. But to make sure that this water cycle can be happen, the existence of the sunlight is very, very important. Okay, so the groundwater also will discharge into the sea. So not including the rainwater, actually this is the ice. So the ice will melt, and then it will form the groundwater, and this groundwater will discharge into the sea. And once the groundwater discharge into the sea, so the evaporation process will occur again, and it will form it will go through the condensation process, and the rain happen again, or maybe snow, and then the groundwater like this one will discharge back into the sea, and the process will keep repeating over and over again. Okay, now we go to the earth layers. So as you can see here, there are three main layers of our earth, which are crust, the first layer, uh, crust, and then mantle. So mantle, we got the lithosphere, asthenosphere, and also mesosphere. And then the third layer would be core, where the core got inner core and outer core. So this is a figure of our earth layer. So the outer layers would be the crust. The crust in bahasa kita panggil kerak. And then we got the mantle. So mantle consists of lithosphere, asthenosphere, and mesosphere. And after the mantle would be the outer core. Outer core ni ialah teras luar. And the inner layer would be the inner core, which is the teras dalam. Earth is the only home for living organisms. So there is no planet B, and there is no emergency backup planet. So as you can see from here, the thing that we can conclude that there is only one planet that support living organism, which is our Earth. So there is no other planet that can support living organism except our Earth. So means that we need to take care of our Earth, because if our earth is no more suitable for living things, so there is no other planet that we can go any longer. So there is no emergency backup planet. So the only way that we can do is we need to protect our earth. Kita kena take care our earth, because we will live in this planet. Lagipun planet ni kita akan, anak cucu kita juga akan stay in this planet. Okay, and then when you can see in this one, this is our solar system. So this is our sun. The first planet would be Mercury, and then the second planet is Venus. So our Earth is located is the third planet from Sun, and then followed by Mars, and then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Actually, Pluto is not a planet anymore. So actually, in solar system contains 8 planets only. So when you can see from the figure here, actually our Earth is the only planet that has the suitable temperature. So actually, this is due to its position, because our planet, which is Earth, is not too far away from the sun and not too close with the sun. So due to its position, our Earth has a suitable temperature. Besides that, why our Earth is can accommodate the living things is because the presence of water and oxygen. We need water to breathe, and we need water to live, to drink, and we need oxygen to breathe. And the suitable temperature is also important because if the temperature is too high, so we cannot live in this planet. If the temperature is too low, also we cannot live in this planet. So as you can see here, this is a Mars, a planet, our neighbor planet. So scientists are searching for another habitable planet for all life, but still Mars still not suitable planet to accommodate any living living things, living organisms, or maybe to accommodate humans there. So still there is no more planet can accommodate life except our Earth. So that's why we have to take care of our air. We need to take care of our air very much. Okay, so we have done with our subtopic, our 9.1 subtopic. So before we end our class, so let's recap what we already learned for today. So just now we just learned about the system and structure of the Earth. So we got four main components. We got geosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. So hydrosphere is the water zone, and the atmosphere is the air zone covering the Earth's surface. And then we got the biosphere, which is the life zone, and the last one is the geosphere, is the rock and soil zone on Earth's surface. And then we also learn about the atmospheric stratification. So we got five layers of atmosphere, which is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and the exosphere. So we also learn about the relationship between the air pressure and altitude, where the higher the altitude, the lower the pressure. And besides that, the higher the altitude, the lower the temperature. And this can be applied to these two situations. And then we also learn about the ocean stratification. We got three zones of the oceans, which are the surface zone, midnight zone, and dark zone. Where the surface zone is the zone where the water is very shallow and suitable for habitat for plants because light still can penetrate through it. And then we got the midnight zone where there is a little or no light, so it's quite difficult for plants to live, and this is also habitat for large marine animals such as giant squid and whale. And the last zone should be the dark zone, where this zone is very deep, around 1500 meters until more than 10,000 meters deep, and where there is no light can reach it, and most animals have shimmering and bodies, and which is body glow in the dark. And we also learn about the distribution of water on Earth, when this process is called as water cycle, where this cycle is continuous and because the total amount of water is always constant. And then we also learn about the Earth layers. We got three main layers, which are crust, mantle, and core. So crust consists of lithosphere and an asthenosphere and mesosphere. For core is we got two cores, inner core and outer core. And why our Earth is very suitable for living things, because our Earth has a suitable temperature, and the presence of water and oxygen would be the main reason why the Earth can accommodate living organisms. So that's why we have to take care of our Earth to ensure that all the living things still can continue. All the living things can live in this Earth. Okay, so we will cover this subtopic 9.2 composition of the Earth in the next class. So I hope if you have any question to ask, just you can message me or telegram me anytime that you like. So that's all for today. So thank you and bye. Please do a revision for better understanding. Okay. Thank you.